Hello and welcome to this tutorial. My name is Tomasz Wysocki, and in this video I'm going to show you the full purchase order process in Syncorder standalone platform. I'm going to start off by logging on in Google Chrome as the customer, in this case toy buyer, and create a purchase order request to a vendor, in this case toy seller, who will be using Internet Explorer. The vendor, toy seller, will then create a confirmation and a shipment. Then the toy buyer will create a goods receipt and will finish off by toy seller creating an invoice. So I'm opening up Google Chrome and logging on as toy buyer. I'm putting in my email, which is my username and password. Then the system logs me on. I press on create new order. I put in a purchase order number, 45009. I'm choosing a vendor from a list of available vendors. In this case, it's toy seller. Then I can choose the order manager from a list, or I can type in the name if I know them. In this case, it's Tomasz Seller Wysocki at toy seller. Then I'm having a one order line. The item number is 204. Description is teddy bear. Line number is 1. Quantity is 25. Unit of measure is pieces. Unit net price, in this case, is 30. And the delivery date, which I would like, is January 19th, 2017. This was my requested segment. I will put in another line. So I'm pressing on add line, choosing 209, description doll. So I want to buy some dolls. Line number is 2. The quantity is 40. Unit of measure, I type in pieces. Unit net price is 22. And the delivery date is, let's pick that one for the 18th of January 2017. I could add more lines if I would like to. In this case, I want to stay with 2 lines. I put in a currency. I can select from a list, or I can type in this case, it's euro. Down here, I have the 4 different addresses. The requisition, invoice, and ship to addresses belong to my company, and it's directly populated from my company master data. I can change it on the order, however. The ship from address comes from the master data of my vendor. I cannot modify that, but of course my vendor can. What's left to do is to press on save and submit. So I press on save. Nothing comes up in my to-do list. I get a notification in the saying that there was a success creating the order. When I go to the active orders list, I can see the order was created. I also get a notification by email, or the vendor gets a notification by email that a new order was created, in case they have checked the checkbox for notifications in their user profile. So going back to the presentation, the step that we just did was the customer logged on and created a purchase order request to the vendor. The next step, which I will show, is the vendor logging on and creating a confirmation for this purchase order back to the customer. So I open up another web browser. In this case, it's Internet Explorer. Really, it doesn't matter which web browser you're using. I'm using 2 different web browsers here just for your convenience, so you can see it better. I log on as toy seller. So I put in my username and password, in this case as the seller. Check the remember me checkbox and press on login. In the to-do list, I should be able to see the new order. I can see it here, 45009. It's in requested status. I press on the order. I can see the order number. I can type in the sales order number 20098 in this case. I can see what has been ordered. There's two lines, line number 1 and line number 2. I can see it's teddy bears, 25 pieces. I want to confirm these. So what I do is I choose, I click on the line in the confirmed segment and right click and choose copy values. The system automatically copies the values from the line or from the segment before, which in this case was requested. I can do the same for the second line. For the dolls, I click on the confirmed segment, right click and select copy values. The system automatically copies it from the previous line. If I would like to modify anything, of course I can do that. In this case, I want to confirm exactly as was ordered. I don't want to change anything. I just press on save and submit. I get notification that the change was successful. I can see that the confirmed stage is filled on the order, and my partner on the other side, the customer, should have received an email notification as well, in case they have their notifications checked in the user profile, in their user profile. So going back to the overview, what we did now was logging on as the vendor, creating a confirmation back to the customer. The next step, which I will show, is again as the vendor to create a shipment, to register a shipment to the customer. So again, I am the supplier, the vendor. I'm still logged on here in Internet Explorer. I can see the order here. I go in, press on it, and then I can again right click on the shipped, in this case the shipped segment, select copy values, and the date of shipment is actually earlier, so I'm choosing January 16th. So I allow for these 3 days of transport, and then I'm doing the same in the on the second line. I right click in the shipped segment, select copy values, and I put in here as well January 16th. I allow for 2 days of shipment of transport. I can put in a note in the chat if I would like to. Dear customer, the order has been shipped as expected and should reach your site on time. Please note the tracking ID for the transporting company in the header details. So I put in some information here. I press on send. This information is automatically sent to my customer. They receive a notification by email as well if they have checked the notify me checkbox. Then I want to, on the header level, I want to edit the details, and I actually want to put in a vessel flight track ID number. This is a tracking number. So I put in 128970 or 8790 SE. And the carrier is bring. So I put that in here and I press on save and submit. I get a notification that there was a success. The order disappears from my to-do list. It's still in the active orders list. I can see that it's been shipped now. So going back to our overview, what we did now was, as the vendor, to create a shipment to the customer. The next step will be the following. As the customer, I will register a goods receipt and the information will go to the vendor. So I'm going back to my Google Chrome, and here I am the customer again. I press on refresh to refresh the order data. I forgot to check the mark remember me. This is why I was logged out when refreshing. So here I can see in the to-do list the order has been shipped. It has actually been confirmed and shipped. When I click on the order, I can see all this information. I can see there's this chat. I can answer if I like to. And send the information back. I can see there is a tracking ID number as promised. And then when I actually receive the goods, I can again register that I have received the goods. So I will right click on the received segment and select copy values from the step before. The date, I should put in the date when I received it. It was the 19th. And in this case, it was the 18th. Copy values and the 18th. So it was exactly as I expected it to be. And I press on save and submit. The order disappears from my to-do list. It's still in my active orders list, and it has reached the received status. Going back to the overview, what we just did was, as a customer, to register the goods receipt. The next step is for the vendor to create the invoice, which is then sent to the customer. So I'm going back to my Internet Explorer. Press on refresh here. And I can see the order here. It has been received. I know that I can invoice it. So I'm going back into the order. Again, I'm taking the next step, which is the invoice step. Right clicking on the line and just selecting just to copy the values. I'm doing that on the first line, and then I have the possibility on the line level to add a discount, percentage or line discount, a unit discount. I can put in VAT percentage or VAT value, and I can link it to a specific invoice number in my own system. So I would actually like to put in 2% discount on this line. When I do that, you can see that the system automatically calculates the line discount, and that the line discount is deducted from the total of the line. And since there is a difference in the values between the different steps in the line, the values get highlighted. They get the yellow color. This is to notify that there is a difference in between those steps. There is the second line. I do the same. I put in copy values. There is no discount here. I actually want to put in a VAT. In both cases, it's 25%. 25% and 25%. I press on save and submit. The order has been invoiced. I go now to my Google Chrome and refresh the browser. So I'm the customer again. I can see that the order has been invoiced. I can open up the order. I can see that I've gotten the 2% discount, and I can print the invoice if I like to. I select print down in the bottom. I press on, I can select which step I would like to print. In this case, I would like to print the invoice. The system presents me with a printout of the invoice. And if I zoom in, I can see all the details from the invoice step. So going back to the overview, what you just saw was creation of the invoice and how the invoice can be viewed and printed by the customer. So you have received a full overview of how to create a purchase order and fulfill the purchase order process using Syncorder, standalone platform, logging in as the customer and the vendor. If you would like to get 30 days of Syncorder usage for free, please go to syncorder.com/en/signup and put in your company details, and you can start saving money using Syncorder already today. If you'd like to get some more information, please go to linkedin.com/company/Syncorder and follow our company page, or go to facebook.com/Syncorder. You can get even more information on syncorder.com, and you're always welcome to contact us on sales@syncorder.com. Thank you very much for your attention, and see you on Syncorder. See you next time.